I'm just going to do a quick overview of who I am, just while we're waiting for another BCR student to join. She's just having some tech issues. So my name is Sarah Hawley, and I'm the undergraduate advisor and coordinator for the Bachelor of Community Rehab. I might have been in contact with some of you guys to discuss the program, and definitely will be in much more contact if you are starting our program next fall, as I'm the advisor. So I'll be sending out lots of communications and hosting some info sessions in the spring before registration, and kind of filling you guys in on assisting all of that. So, but for tonight, I'm putting it over to 3 of our senior students that are also peer mentors for our program, which is something that we offer to all first-year students in the 4-year route, which I think is a valuable resource and support to have as you're going through your first year at the University of Calgary and in our program. And these guys have a wealth of knowledge and experience. Who better to talk about a program than those that are in their last year of the program and or will be graduating this upcoming year. So I'll put it over to you guys, and hopefully Justine will be able to join us soon. I just sent her the update, the new, no, sorry, it's not even a new link, just the current link. So hopefully that one works for her.
Yeah. She said she saw it, so hopefully she can be on any second now.
Yeah. Well, I guess I'll just start. But
Yeah.
hey, welcome everybody to the Community Rehabilitation and Disability Studies Info Night. Hopefully you guys enjoy your time. We'll go through the program, all the ins and outs of it, some general advice too. So hopefully you guys enjoy. I'll just go into it right here. If it's gonna let me.
Oh, we're midway now.
Thanks. Okay, here's the structure of today's night. You guys see it? You can see it, right?
I can see it. You're
Oh,
just like
yeah. Okay.
giving
Okay.
spoilers.
Yeah, I'm blacking out a bit.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
today we'll just go introduce ourselves as peer mentors. We'll have a little bit of discussion, and then we'll have some questions portions at the end of it. Just to answer any of your questions moving forward.
So quickly before we begin our introductions, we would like to take this opportunity to acknowledge the traditional territories of the people of Treaty 7 region in southern Alberta, which includes the Blackfoot Confederacy comprising the Siksika, Piikani, and Kainai First Nations, as well as the Tsuut'ina First Nation and the Stoney Nakoda, including the Chiniki, Bearspaw, Wesley First Nations. The city of Calgary is also home to Métis Nation of Alberta Region 3. We would also like to note that the University of Calgary is situated on land adjacent to where the Bow River meets the Elbow River, and that the traditional Blackfoot name of this place is Mohkinstsis, which is now called the City of Calgary. So even though we're having this event on Zoom virtually, I think it is important that we all recognize the land that we work and play and live on. Next slide.
Just to introduce myself, my name's Harry. I'm a 4th-year CRDS student. I was formerly the VP Finance of CRDSSA. We'll get into that more later on in the presentation. I'm currently pursuing occupational therapy and an MBA, a combined master's. And lastly, I used to play sports. I am officially retired though. I definitely will not be playing any professional sports in my later years, if that makes sense. I guess I'll introduce her as soon as she eventually joins, but Justine is a peer of mine. She is a 4th-year CRDS student as well. She volunteers at a Sunday school. She's really passionate about that. She's really loves helping kids and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I didn't know this about her previously, but apparently she likes to do crochet and stuff like that, which is kind of cute. I could never. She likes to read
Same.
and listen to music, so I'll leave that on to Aisha.
Solid. Okay, well, this is my slide. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight. My name is Aisha, and I'm also a 4th-year university student in the CRDS program. I am the 3rd and final peer mentor, so you're not going to meet anyone else right now. But as you can see from the slide, I have briefly listed a summary of my hobbies and interests, which looking at it now doesn't seem very interesting, but moving on. I like to travel. One memorable one was Japan, the food and shopping, and the food was amazing to say the least. I like pasta, more specifically carbonara. If it's on the menu, I'm gonna order it. In my spare time, I like to play volleyball and snowboard. I am retired also, but I like to still join in sometimes. Majority of the time, other than dedicating all my time to school, I'm usually drinking, chugging coffee. So yeah. Lastly, I am also a self-diagnosed shopaholic. But in all seriousness, as my time in CRDS program slowly comes to an end, my hope is to pursue occupational therapy similar to Harry. In this job, I would be helping children, young adults, and adults regain a lost ability to carry out various tasks that they need or want to do in their everyday life. I found this specific job to be very rewarding in the long run. It is a career that is quite challenging at times, but the results are always worth it. So us three have been working together to create this entire virtual event for you all. So hopefully it's somewhat fun, but also informative. We hope this presentation is super helpful in answering at least one of your questions regarding this program. Next slide. Okay, so she already briefly introduced herself, but if anyone came in a little later, Sarah Holly, if you're not familiar with her yet, she's the program advisor. She's my go-to and hopefully also your go-to for questions tailored to yourself and your role in the program once you get started. Even right now, if you have any questions, feel free to email her about them. Her email is on the screen right here. So thank you, Sarah, for being here with us and for organizing all of this for the first years and for us. Next.
Okay, so briefly we'll go into a little Kahoot, hopefully to keep it a little interactive. So feel free to join the pin. Can you guys see the pin? Game pin,
Yes.
yeah? Okay, for sure. And I'll start that up as soon as you guys join. Let's have some fun.
Yeah. And hopefully Justine pops up randomly. Should I join in too for fun? Let's see if I can answer the questions right or not.
That's cheating. No, sure, sure.
Not like I made the questions or anything.
Oh, of course not. Definitely didn't happen, right?
Scan the code. There's no sounds. My background music, elevator music.
That work? That work?
Yeah, it does. Yeah. Okay.
Sorry, I didn't want to kill the vibe, you know?
No, you're good.
Okay, cool. I'll give it a couple more seconds, hopefully. Hey, I think I'm going to start. Yeah? Yeah, okay. Oh, that's not further. Okay, for sure. Let's get started. You have 20 seconds to answer each question, like a regular Kahoot game, and have fun. Is CRDS medical program?
Oh, I like this question.
Curious to see the general answers.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So
Nice.
I'll briefly just touch in on that. Well, let's see who scored the highest. M taking the lead. Hopefully
Nice.
that's not Aisha. That's pretending to be someone,
What?
but
No.
we'll see.
I
Okay.
would take full credit if I could.
Takes an astounding lead, so good job, man. So it is false at the end of the day. So CRDS is not a medicine bachelor. Community Rehabilitation and Disability Studies is an interdisciplinary platform and academic inquiry. The CRDS delivers undergraduate and graduate programs in the domains of leadership development, community capacity building, innovation, and multiple allies aimed at improving well-being of people with diverse abilities and both promoting social change and building corresponding knowledge and theory. It's not like your practical medical healthcare setting, your kinesiologies or your biologies and stuff like that. It's more so about the social concepts that revolve around disability. We'll go
Mhm.
more touch on that later, but that's the general gist of the program, if that makes sense. Well, you guys are great. So we're gonna go on to the next question. Hopefully, M can drop down in the leading boards a little bit, but we'll see. Will there be practicums throughout your program? You guys think? Oh, this one was kind of a
Nice.
toss-up. Kind of a toss-up. Okay, let's see.
Oh, she's
And M
still
is continuing to
still.
dominate the competition, but Aya's coming close. The top three is pretty
Nice.
close. It's anyone's game.
So yes,
Okay, I'll let Aya take over. Take over.
so there is sorry, I like literally cut you off, but there are practicums throughout our BCR program. Um uh from what I remember, from what we wrote down, it was 205, 207 is like your junior practicum, and then your senior practicum is 595, 594. So you get two chances for practicums to kind of like broaden your knowledge and kind of put yourself out there inside the community. I don't know what else is there for you to add, Harry, because we
I
can't
might
really go.
actually, I might interrupt in there too. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, go ahead.
Some of these guys might not know what a practicum is,
Mm,
coming from high school. So, that's just something else to add to that for those who might not know what that means. We no longer have a practicum for Core 205. So I know that was a practicum for you guys probably when you started the program.
yeah.
There are 4 practicums, and as Aisha mentioned, like we have 2 senior ones in your final year. A practicum is when you go out in the community to work alongside an agency or through like in a therapy field or in the hospital settings. We have lots of different ones because, as Harry mentioned, we are interdisciplinary. So you can get to go into many different areas. We have over 200 practicum sites in the city. So we have a lot of long-standing partnerships and relationships with them. And we actually have a lot of alumni from our program that we work with as well for practicums. So a practicum is that you still do the traditional class lecture and go to the classroom, but it's maybe every other week because you're focusing more being out in the community, and then it just builds your community experience as you go throughout the degree program. And your first one actually starts in your first year in the winter semester, and it's just baby steps with it. So that's what a practicum means. So and I don't want to speak for everybody, but for a lot of students' feedback is that they absolutely love it. And we are very unique that we provide practicums pretty much every year in this program. Many don't. So I think that also enriches your learning with us.
Definitely.
I couldn't have said it better myself. It's
Yeah.
almost.
I could not.
But yeah, your practicum is built into the bachelor. You have a lot of work experience. There's a lot of opportunities. Like you said, there's over 200 partners. There's a lot of places to work and build up your resume, is same as to build up your academics as well. So that's another unique facet of this program, just to help put a
Mhm.
little.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Helps you figure out your career path as well.
Mhm.
So
for sure, for sure. She's a professional. What can I say?
Yeah, she knows it.
Next question. What are future jobs you can have with this thing?
Oh, the $1 million question.
Let's see.
Wow. Okay. So I didn't really trick any of you but a certain person, and we won't get into that. It's almost like I
Well,
decided I'm somebody to go.
Oh,
Oh, I
a
takes
new
the lead.
scoreboard.
well done, everyone.
Good job. Good job, everybody. Okay, so with the job aspect of you getting this degree and stuff like that, it is interdisciplinary. So there's a lot of facets that you can go and take your degree in. Like me and Aisha specifically, we're trying to get a master's degree out of this program. But
Yep.
but as you can see with the job descriptions in the question, it was very a wide array of healthcare professions, if that makes sense. Some people go into research. I know some people take the combined degree. We'll get into that later with psychology and stuff like that.
Mhm.
There's many ways you can flip this bachelor to suit your needs. There's a lot of options as well, and the degree will go into that as well. You could tailor that to specific job applications that you want to later in life. But yeah, it's a wide array. So if you're not really sure about what you want to do, it kind of helps you out in that aspect because it's not tailored to one specific occupation, if that makes sense, compared to like your kinesiologies and your bioscience and stuff like that.
Mhm.
On to the next question. Anybody want to add anything? Aisha, Serena?
Um, well, for me, for our open house, I really one example I'd like to give is like for example, like nursing. When you go into nursing, you kind of just end up being like a nurse. That's really like what you're destined to be. But for this program, it really allows you to kind of like broaden your horizons and expand and see which areas you're really interested in and kind of find work that kind of relates to what you studied. So it's like you're really not restricted to one path. You could really mix it up if you want. So yeah, that's what I wanted to add.
And I'll just add a little quick piece too. So when you're in your first year of the 4-year route, because I know not everybody is attending the 4-year route, if they do apply and are admitted. In the 4-year route, you're allowed 15 open options in your first 2 years. So when we talk about interdisciplinary, that means that we encourage you to take topics from other degree programs at U of C to help figure out what you want to do with your career path. Because no matter what you take, it always goes back to community, sometimes disability, inclusion, breaking down barriers. So we have people that are taking like architecture courses and getting into city planning and building and working with the city and working with other companies to make sure that there's barriers are not there for people with a physical disability. And believe it or not, it's there a lot. And as you go on this degree, even something simple like noticing city planning and how poorly done it can be, because you start noticing the amount of obstacles that people go through in everyday life that they shouldn't. So this is just another like takeaway that students get from this degree. We have people that do work alongside therapists and doctors. There's somebody I know as an alumni that she has a job working as a liaison with expecting parents. And when they find out that their child's going to have Down syndrome or another disability, and she is a liaison and has a role with the hospital and with the family to give full support and access and being a voice for that family. So it's a very interesting role. So there's many things. And as Harry and Aisha mentioned as well, like lots of different research opportunities, and don't let that word scare you. It's something that you might be very interested in as you kind of get into this degree. And our faculty members have a lot of different backgrounds of expertise that would be very interesting. So you'll see lots of different classes you can take while you go into this degree. So it's nice to have that flexibility.
Without further ado, on to the next question. Now, this is a bit of a doozy, but are most students can get hired in their practicum sites? Sorry, my English is degrading because of the weather. Well, good job, everybody. And we have a new leading leader. Congrats.
My face. Nice work.
Competition.
Nice work.
And just last question. A little active recall. You're going to be doing it a lot during your post-secondary career. So, what are our names?
I forgot for a second.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That happens to me all the time, you know?
No, I'm really curious. It's a great question. All
Oh,
right.
that was kind of tough. Okay, I see. Hopefully, who's the person that was wrong? Oh wait, no, I don't want to do that. Never mind.
Yeah, it's fine. What's up?
Well, good job, everybody. Hopefully it shows us our winner. So let's see.
Nice.
Third place is Sam. Second place is Smiley Face. And who is first? Aya takes the top spot. Congratulations.
Congrats, guys.
Unfortunately, you don't win anything
Yeah.
because there's nothing for me to give you. And plus, I'm a university student, so there's not much resources I can give you. Congrats.
Well done.
Presentation.
Okay, back to the PowerPoint. No more background music.
All right. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed that part because I did, at least, you know. I guess Aisha, do you want to take this part or?
Sorry, I'm trying to find my. So basically, what is CRDS? It is community rehabilitation. I just saw a timer pop up and like community rehabilitation disability studies. So CRDS is an interdisciplinary platform of academic inquiry. The CRDS delivers undergraduate and graduate programs in the domains of leadership, development, community capacity building, innovation, and multiple allies aimed at improved well-being of people with diverse abilities, promoting social change, and building corresponding knowledge and theory. So that's basically a little definition that we'll get into later on.
I guess I'll go into this part. Yeah.
Justine slides.
Uh, there's advocacy, intersectionality, and hands-on learning, as we've mentioned before with the program already. Specifically when it comes to advocacy, we let people talk about their own experiences. We emphasize on that, especially people with disabilities. We're trying to dismantle ideas of that we're experts. At the end of the day, people are the experts of themselves and their own lives. You know, it's important to validate people's experiences at the end of the day. We all live differently. We all have different experiences. Everyone's opinion is valid, you know. And at the end of the day, our job is to learn alongside these people to try to mesh whatever it is to be architecture, occupational therapy, physiotherapy. You're always trying to listen to your patient or the person that you're working with or alongside at the end of the day to try to be more interdisciplinary and cohesive in a more holistic manner when you're trying to work with people. So that's kind of the basic premises of the big concepts of our program. When it comes to intersectionality, I'll just briefly touch on what that means. It's a big concept here in our program. Intersectionality just means that there's a lot of factors that play into how people live their lives and how they end up being and how it affects themselves. An example being that I'm a minority myself. I have some barriers that come along with that. My parents are refugees. I didn't grow up with the most money. I was in a low social economic background coming up. So obviously those aspects of myself affect me, and they would combine to multiply in a way that affects my life moving forward, if that makes sense. But like all of us individuals, there's always lingering parts to who we are, and they affect us in multiplicity of ways. And I can talk about that for hours, but just a general gist of that people are affected by different things. They come up from different backgrounds, and their backgrounds affect them moving forward. Yeah.
Yes.
And when it comes to hand-on learning, it's just with the practicum stuff, you know, you'll be in the field working with these people, so you can really practice these concepts that you learn in class. Sorry. Okay. But yeah, you'll really work on these concepts in the field, you know, which makes it a really unique basis for your start of your post-secondary career, or maybe if you're a transfer student. Anything you guys want to add, Aisha, Sarah?
No, I'm just looking through her notes right now. No, I think you explained that pretty well.
Yeah, I think it's like you said, we just want our students to learn to have a voice for those who don't always have a voice or have supports. And you're right, it comes whether it's from different backgrounds, whether it's being a woman an
Yeah.
immigrant, any kind of disability. And sometimes I was thinking actually, Harry, when you're talking, we have an alumni that did her master's in social work after this degree, and she works in the hospitals. And she said this degree made her actually appreciate and have the knowledge to know that the patient is a person. And it actually astonished her how much the medical community, when she's working alongside them, forgot that that was a person, and she had to remind them. So she advocated for that patient. And I think we all probably have experienced that in our personal life of having a family member or a friend or ourselves where we felt like we weren't heard. So our students who do phenomenal work through practicums and research and career paths after this, like they're, if anything, the biggest takeaway is having that voice and being an advocate and not looking at what's wrong with the person, but what's wrong with the system and how can we change the system so it can work for the person. And a lot of times that's not how models work. So we're trying to flip that. So that's the biggest thing that we really want our students to have with this program and with learning with it. And then that's also where you intersect with different areas of, like we said, like law, architect, health, policy, yeah, very many different opportunities and exposures you can get with this degree to help you out as well.
All right, and we'll move on to the next one. Hopefully my internet holds strong. Aisha, how you take care of this one?
Yeah. So, just so you guys get like a little gist of what we our like beliefs and values are for this program. So our vision is the responsive, sophisticated, and just understanding of people of diverse abilities. Our mission is to generate research, education, policy, and practice partnerships to improve the well-being of people with diverse abilities. So yeah, that's just basically a little gist that we'll get into even more in our next slides. But so go back. Thank you. Uh, this is probably why some of you are here right now. What can you do with this degree? We have a list of jobs you can potentially pursue after your time in CRDS. These are all occupations that are eligible with this degree. This specific list can be found on the CRDS website, which is the handle on the bottom. Some of the more commonly known ones are policy analyst, community development worker, program manager, occupational therapist, physiotherapist, behavioral therapist, respite care coordinator, child life specialist, and return to work specialist. Some agencies and corporations you also potentially work with include Alberta Health Services, CBE schools, CBE and CCSD schools, Calgary Quest schools, the City of Calgary, the Government of Canada, or Alberta. And it's important to note that there are definitely more occupations than what's presented on this list. Like this scratches the surface, really. There's way more paths that you could take with this degree. But yeah.
Yes, okay. I'll just go on to like the future steps that you can take in academia specifically. If my internet holds strong, please,
You got it.
please, please. Do I?
Yeah,
You
you're
guys are
good.
frozen for me, so you're gonna have to yell at me, Aisha.
No, you're good.
Okay. Like we said before, me and Aisha are specifically going to community rehab and occupational therapy and stuff like that. There's peers of mine that are trying to get into physical therapy, life pathologist, speech therapy, and masters of social work, like Sarah briefly discussed. There's also special education teacher. That's what Justine would have, is wanting to pursue and would
Yeah.
have went into more detail personally, and
Mm-hmm.
also doctor or medical doctor. So some special people use this as a pre-med, which is very unique, but obviously very possible.
So we have like a little slide here. It's the 4-year route, and the 2-year post-diploma route. So I guess Harry kind of went over the future steps for that. So you can really access all of this by going to ucalgary.ca, community rehabilitation, then BCR requirements, then just click on the pathway that really interests you. So next slide, please. So these are just a list of our core required courses / practicum classes. These are the required courses that you would have to take in this program that include 4 practicum courses. Sarah did briefly say that 205 is not part of it anymore. I think for our first year it was, but I believe it's changed now. But 207, 594, and 595 are other practicum classes. Each class focuses on various topics. We have a research design class, classes regarding aging, families, inclusivity, and independence for people with various disabilities. Some of these classes will have guest lectures, people coming from different agencies, organizations, or someone who with experience or research in the field will come in and discuss their expertise and knowledge to help you all understand the content being learned at a deeper level. It's important to note that we have various assessment methods. It really depends on your class and your professor. But it varies from oral presentations, writing papers, critical reflections, discussion, blog posts, group projects. I even had to write a play script one time with one of my classes with Dr. Alan Martino, which you guys will hopefully get to know during your years in this program. It was really engaging and interesting, to say the least. Another thing to note is that immunization and police checks are required for practicums because you work with a vulnerable population. This is mandatory for your practicum courses. Next slide. So practicum agencies. Here are some practicum agencies that you can expect to have placement at. These include Autism Asperger's Friendship Society, PACE Kids, CBE, and CCSD schools, LifeMark, Calgary Scope Society. These are just a handful of examples. Majority of them are presented on the screen. Your practicum placements are often sent out or chosen roughly 2 months prior to your class beginning. Your practicum will typically be confirmed a month before or up to a day before classes. And it's important to be mindful of the fact that it's up to you to schedule your practicums. You have general availability that you give, and you are responsible for finding time in your classes and in your practicum, which is nice to have that flexibility. So it can be quite intimidating, but really you just need to have some good time management skills and provide them with the time that you're available. It's pretty much really just all that. Most core classes have an average of 2 sections, so you do need to register quickly because our program might be small, but it is competitive within students. Right, next one. So option courses, these are just literally just scratches the surface of the option courses that you could take in your first year. Personally, I've taken GRST 211, SOCI 201. So these are just examples that can be completed throughout your degree. For example, I have taken the 211, SOCI 201. I've also taken Psych 200 and 201. Majority of them are just introduction courses, so they seem pretty broad at first, but as you start taking classes that specialize and focus on specific topics, that's when things tend to be a little bit more interesting, in my opinion. At the in-person open house, I would constantly tell them I would tell the upcoming first year students to really explore their interests and take classes that they find interesting. Typically, if you find it interesting, you're more likely to participate in the class and result into a more successful grade, I guess. But it's really your time to find your interests and kind of explore, like I said, your university experience and kind of just broaden your horizons. If these are not your interest, there are probably like 10 different ones that are probably way more interesting to you. So it's nice to have that wide variety and that wide range. So yeah, that's if anyone has any questions about open course option courses, you can comment it or something. Turn on your mic if ever, but yeah.
I'll give Aisha a little break, but I'll
Thank
go
you.
over like schedule builder tuition. This was standard for like all our courses here or all our programs here for UFC. This top part, as you can see, is the schedule builder, and then this would be your student portal. Um, There's a quick tip for your schedule builder and stuff. This is where you would sign up for classes, your options and stuff like that. Like Aisha said before, try to sign up for them as early as possible. There'll be a designated date that you have to start applying, so make sure to watch out for that. It'll also be in your student portal as well. Um, and yeah, don't be just apply fast is probably the biggest tip. If you want to get into certain classes,
Mhm.
sometimes it'll be unfair for to put you into classes specifically. We've been through that personally together a lot, actually. So don't be me and apply for classes early on to try to make it easier for everybody involved. And for this bottom part is your student portal. You'll pay all your tuition and stuff like that through this designated site. Classes stem around from 600 to around $700 nowadays, not including your textbooks and stuff like that. We all know that university is very expensive at the end of the day. With UCalgary and the portal specifically, you can link your Canadian bank account towards it. So you can make online payments to where you need to pay for your classes and stuff like that. You can pay through credit cards and checks like that, but you do get paid extra interest on top of it, I believe. Um, but yeah, the preferred method is through a Canadian bank account for any international students or stuff like that. So I'll just move on.
Actually, I'd like to add real quick. For the schedule builder, personally, registering for 5 to 6 and drop courses once the semester begins, in case you really don't like the it does you find like these courses don't really suit you, you kind of have like a backup plan, and you have a certain deadline also or a certain period to drop classes without like paying for them. So utilize that. They will inform you about what days, um, what the important deadlines will be. So just keep an eye out for that. It's always very flexible and it's not always a set schedule. I think that people, once they are adding courses, they think that's their final set schedule, but it's really flexible and you can really make it to how you would like it. You just need to be aware of all the times and deadlines, but you can move things around. It's not like official till you really pay for it, I'd say. Um, it can be overwhelming and intimidating in your first year, but you just need to remember that you have multiple resources, including Sarah, to help you get through it all. But yeah, that's just what I wanted to add.
Okay, and I guess I'll just go over the minors and double majors and transfer students all in one slide. But
Mhm.
minors and stuff, to get a minor you need 30 credits to fulfill. There's specific minors that you take with our bachelor, of course, you can't take like communications or something like that. But you need to fill out those requirements. It depends. It varies on which minors that you want to take with your degree. I believe it's transcribed in your degree once you get it, right, Sarah? Your minors and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, you just work your minor requirements into your options for this
Mhm.
degree. Yeah.
And then with the double majors, there's only some programs available with it. Once again, you can't pick endless amounts of um different programs. You need to work with it in the same type of your degree. There's a lot more credits that you'll need that are required for you to achieve a double major at the end of your like tenure. And for transfer students specifically, it apparently has been an easy transition for a lot of transfer students. I've had a lot of peers that come from like Bow Valley College and stuff like that to finish out 2 years. Sarah can corroborate with me on that. Um, the biggest thing for transfer students from college to university is just there's a lot more flexibility. There's a lot less structure, I guess. There's more onus on you as a university student than it is opposed to you being in college and stuff like that. So, to be honest, I don't really know much about the transfer student section, so I'll have Sarah add on a little bit there if she
Yeah,
can.
definitely. Yeah. I think Harry, like what you mentioned, so yeah, if anybody's coming into the 2-year route, which means you have an approved diploma, which is on our admission page, you come in and complete 20 courses, you come into year 3. I think the biggest feedback that students have is just adjusting from college to university life. I don't tell you what classes to take and when to take them. It is anybody's responsibility, whether you're coming into the 4-year route or the 2-year route, whether you're in year 3, year 4, year 7, it is the student's responsibility to get into classes and to kind of create their schedule. But I am here to assist. I'm just not here to register you in everything single class. And I know people from college said, well, I was given my schedule. So you create your schedule. And I think once you get comfortable with it and you use like the student portal and the schedule builder, a lot of them really start enjoying that flexibility and figuring out options they want to take and whatnot. So you're not thrown out into like the registration wolves and left alone. But there is definitely guidelines and requirements to follow, but it is up to you kind of in a way to figure out what classes you'd like to take when you are in the 2-year route, as opposed to the 4-year route. When you come into the year 1, there are required classes that you have to take in your first year. A little more flexibility with the transfer route. So if you are applying and if you're admitted or you're waiting for your admission decision, this is something I will provide in much more detail before registration in April, just to go over everything as well. So it's nice to get a sneak peek at what to expect.
And we'll continue, please. Okay, perfect. Like I said previously, I was the previous VP Finance of CRDSSA. CRDSSA just stands for Community Rehabilitation and Disability Studies Students Association. I know the name is very long, but that's what it is. It is our student association. Pretty much what we have done throughout the years is that we provide events and try to improve the student body experience to people that take our program. Last year specifically, we did a lot of things that focus on like to improve your academia and professional opportunities. We did collaboration events with Sims, which is a biosci club, to try to have people learn about different healthcares and different careers. As you know, that the vast amounts of careers that you could possibly do with this degree is endless. So we try to branch out as much as we can. There's also been disability conferences. So if you guys are ever interested in research and showing off that research to the professors, your peers, even other researchers within the field too, it's a great opportunity to try to build your CV and your resume. We also do extracurricular events, which is like the gala. There's a lot of bake sales that happen with this event too. So there's bodies that are here to help you, support you through your university experience at the end of the day. And it's just another aspect of your extracurricular that you could be involved in potentially if you were to take this degree. So I'll leave it at that.
So yeah, that's just basically going over what we talked about right now. This is all on the website for BCR. You can locate it there. This is just like a quick overview. You don't need to memorize all this right now. I know this is a lot, but yeah. Okay. This is also another overview of health options that you need, that are required.
Only 2 from the list. You don't take them all.
Yeah, don't take them all.
Yeah, these are
them all.
yeah, these are years 3 and 4 options. So you just choose 2 from the list.
Yeah.
But also you can take some of these in your first 2 years as well, because you see some 200 level. So it is a really great example of showing you like the variety of topics that you're allowed to take while you're in this degree.
Here's more. You need to pick 4 here. It looks really intimidating, but once you start reading like each class's descriptions, you'll start to understand what they're about, and you can just pick and choose from there what your interests are. Yeah, it's really up to you to kind of formulate a schedule that is within your interests.
And no, you don't have to take every single one of these
Yes,
classes.
you don't need to. If you could, that's good for you, but
That'd be amazing. That truly would be.
yeah.
And then here are some management options. I believe it's 3 credits that are required, right,
Yes,
Sarah? Yeah,
3
3 credits.
credits
One of this,
equals.
one of these classes, but obviously is a very vast array of potential classes and different faculties that you could take this credit from.
Mhm.
Which kind of just adds to like our interdisciplinary approach when it comes to this bachelor, which kind of sets you apart in many ways. Some
Personal
personal experiences from me and Aisha. Aisha, would you like to start?
personal experiences. Sorry, I'm trying to look for personal experiences. I'd like to just in general. I found that just by looking at that list of classes, it can be. I was very intimidated. I was very anxious. It was my first year, and I'm also a perfectionist, so I found that I wanted to get everything right. I needed to get classes that would look good on my resume or like would look good on my transcript. But then later on, I started kind of realizing that like going beyond my comfort zone and going into courses that I actually like and I actually have an interest for made my year and each semester kind of less stressful in a way. I'd like to say it kind of um, gave me a sense of calmness in amidst all the deadlines. But yeah, those option courses you can really take to just get a better understanding of certain um everyday phenomenons. Like for example, I took Psych 200 and Psych 201. It really gave me a better understanding of just basic relationships that you make on a daily basis and anxiety, stuff like that. Like it covers topics that you wouldn't think would matter, but it kind of gives you some background information about it, which is helpful and useful when making friends, which you're going to be doing in this program. So picking your options really direct you in a good path, I guess. Like don't be afraid to pick random ones and different ones. What do you think, Harry?
Oh, sorry. Get into my personal experience now. Um, if Aisha, can you guys still hear me?
Yes, I can.
Hopefully. Okay.
Yeah.
Uh, I'm not like Aisha. I was not a perfectionist. To be frank, I did not know what I wanted to be program.
I didn't know either.
My knowledge is very limited. I kind of just took a leap of faith. Uh, Agree, especially with the practicums. My biggest tip would be just really try to learn from anybody, even with the practicums, even with these people that you'll work with eventually. If you were to take this program, they might not have degrees, but at the end of the day, they have worthwhile knowledge for you to learn from as a professional. Be open to any opportunities and stuff like that. That really helped mold me in that fact. Um, I was willing. I wasn't um research and stuff like that. I never heard of the term before I entered the program. I never knew anything about student clubs and stuff like that. I always thought I'm just here to get a grade and leave, you
Hmm.
know. I'm here to
Yeah,
get I'm here to get my paper that hopefully gets me a job that gets me more paper at the end of the day. That's what I really approached it as. But the more you go through this program and you try to really put yourself out there and get new experiences, it really does make you better as a person, as a professional as well, going to any career that you decide on being. Um, be very open minded when it comes to the people that you're around, you know, and always try to like really use these concepts that you learn in this program to better yourself and better the people around you. Because at the end of the day, it's all about inclusion. It's all about how can we help the other person next to us to really
mhm,
make their lives fulfilling at the end of the day. And that's really what this program is about. So if you have those type of morals and you feel like that's something that you would care about, I think this program would be really beneficial to you, even if you don't know exactly what you want to be at this very moment.
for sure.
Anything you want to add, Sarah, as the
No,
expert?
I actually, you guys did a really great job. And I'm echoing Harry on this. You guys do not need to know what you want to do with this degree yet or what your career is. And you might have something in your head, that you want to do, and then this program will completely flip your head and your mind on everything, and you might come out with something completely different. And just have fun with it, and like our students here are talking about, like, take those different options and have fun with your experience as a student at U of C. That's the biggest thing as well, and that helps shape your growth, not just, as Harry said, like getting the classes and getting the A's. I know that when I talked to alumni, some of them said their biggest regret was not experiencing the community of the campus more, and the clubs and their peers and whatnot, because that's just as important as your GPA and your growth to get when you are out in the career pathway that you're choosing. So just keep that in mind as well. It's not all studying. There's a lot more that's out there for you to take advantage of. So
this kind of ties into our last slide. First, our highlights and our tips. Our number one would be getting to know people in your program. I know it's very intimidating coming from, I am an introvert as well, so it's very intimidating trying to make friends and putting yourself out of your comfort zone. But making friends and putting yourself out there is very liberating. I'd say it allows you to understand the different perspectives of people around you. Conversing with others can also give you a new perspective, I'd say. Like, you can have like this little switch and trade-off of knowledge and wisdom. Another thing is, it is a smaller program for us, so you don't really get to so you get to know people more easily, I'd say, which is nice. And you get to know your professors quite well also. You get to build that meaningful relationship and bond, which is quite a unique experience compared to other bigger programs at U of C. This also helps you get reference letters later on if you do choose to do something post undergrad. For example, for me, we would need a reference letter from a prof that you've worked closely with. For occupational therapy, for both me and Harry, we would need some reference letter. There is a program-wide Discord, which has been super helpful personally for me. I think we need to find the link for that. So if you guys need it, we'll probably send an email out for that. You get to connect with others in the same program, which is nice. It is also organized into different courses, so you can ask specific questions about a course to other classmates who are also in that chat. And I found this to be really helpful when I was lost in my first year. It kind of directed me and helped me, and kind of, it was reassuring to see that other people were in the same position as me, and we could kind of bond over that together. Like you guys said in the previous slide, joining clubs and getting new experiences is definitely a big one. I didn't really start joining and putting myself out there till like my third, fourth year of university, and I do regret it. Definitely your first and second year is your time to kind of explore more options and try this, and if you don't like it, you can try that. Like, you're not really restricted, and you don't really have that big of a responsibility yet. So yeah, I'd really recommend joining clubs and getting the new experiences, making friends, because you will always, since it's a small program, you would really find each of these individuals in one of your classes again. So you'll always find a familiar face. For tips, I don't know if there's another slide after this, but I could just, no, that's the same slide. So some tips is just spreading out your option courses throughout your degree. It's really helpful to have a few option courses to do in your third and fourth year. It allows you to explore different classes while also focusing on your required CRDS courses. It's also important to note that you shouldn't feel pressured to finish your degree in 4 years. I know that a majority of people are really determined and set to finish any degree in 4 years, but everyone is on their own timeline. It's better to enjoy your university experience rather than dread it. A lot of people that I know personally have finished their degree in 5 or more years. So go with the pace that you think is best for you. Don't compare yourself to other people. Everyone is on their own path and journey. Another tip is if you don't take 5 classes or 5 courses in fall and winter semesters, you can take a couple in spring or summer. Personally, I found it nice to have 2 to 3 classes in spring and 4 classes in each winter and fall. I would keep my summers open just to give myself a little mental health break. But I recommend that you always check in with Sarah here and there. Some do it every start of the semester, some do it probably every week or every month, but whatever you feel comfortable with, follow that. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah,
Thanks
and
for listening. All this
thanks for
talking.
listening. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to Sarah or any of us, really. I guess we'll provide our
I don't know if he cut
uh,
it. Yeah.
Oh,
right? Hello.
just cut out momentarily. No, we
Yeah.
can hear you now.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but if you guys have
Yeah,
any
but
questions,
Does anybody have any questions? I know there were some on the chat that were being monitored, but if anybody has any questions, definitely don't hesitate. And oh, I see one here in the chat. How long is each semester? For fall and winter are 4 months. So fall semester starts September and ends in December, and January to April for winter, and spring and summer are 6 weeks each. So May, June, and July and August for summer. So I think it's around like 12 weeks for each for fall and winter. I think it's around that, since you
Mhm.
guys have the reading week going on right now. So that's kind
Yeah.
of relatively new. So yeah. All right. Oh, I don't know if that's a new question or. There. All right. Well, let's see here. Yeah, so Vanessa, who works over admissions, her and I have been kind of filling in some information on the chat as well. So thank you for that. And yeah, if you guys have any other questions or comments, feel free to contact us and we can definitely help you out. And I hope to see you guys at UCalgary. That's an event we have in April for anybody who's offered a seat and paid their deposit. And you get to register a little bit earlier as well. And you'll be getting communications on that. Otherwise, everybody, thanks for joining and to have a lovely evening. And thanks, Aisha and Harry, for joining.
Sorry,
And
Justine couldn't join us. I think she's here right now just watching, but she
oh,
couldn't
is she? Oh,
fix it.
yeah,
Yeah.
she tried. She tried.
Yeah.
Good old
Yeah.
technology. So,
Always.
all right. And oh, I just see here somebody asked a question. I will host I'll answer that one live. I'll be hosting the info session probably in April. I'd like to do it right before new students register. So new students registered later than current students, not by much, but like Harry and Aisha, if they were returning next fall, they would register in March, and new students register in April and May. So I usually host sessions right before that, so I can give you guys lots of information to support you when you register for classes. Hey, anybody else have any questions or comments? I think so. Perfect. All right. Well, thanks again. And thanks, Aisha and Harry, for hosting this great event. Oh, wait. I think we have about one. A dual degree. I think the future student register is answering that one. So yeah, if you guys do have any questions, because the Harry and Aisha did mention combined degrees. Some people, I'm not sure if anybody in this chat or who have already left might have applied to one, because you can do a psychology and
Mhm.
BCR one. You can apply for it right out of high school. If you didn't know about that, it's something you can definitely apply to for the following year. And we can definitely, you can contact me and we can have a chat about that as well. So it's something you can definitely look into doing year 2 or 3 as well. All right. I guess that's it then. All right, guys. Well, thanks so much. Thanks, Harry and Aisha again. And you guys enjoy the rest of your reading week, and looking forward to hopefully seeing everybody in the program next fall.
For sure, for
Thanks.
sure.
Bye, guys.
All
Thank
right,
you.
see
Have a good night.
You too. Bye.